Good morning, friends. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo, as well as Joe Bear in the house. And as always, I want to thank you guys for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, this literally does not work. And I mean, seriously, it does not work without you guys. Mike, 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 Mike. Mike, 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 Mike. Mike, 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 Mike. Do you know what day it is, Mike? Do you? It's hump day. It is the middle of the freaking week. Time is flying by. We are only 32 days, 11 hours, and 20 minutes away from the Dallas Cowboys kicking off against the Los Angeles Rams. So let's get open for business here and let's wake up the football gods. Wake up here, guys. Wake up here. You know, it's amazing how when football is in the air, everything tastes a little bit sweeter. My coffee, it's got a little extra to it, you know? You go outside, you feel that heat and humidity and stuff. But, you know, when I played football growing up, we played on grass in school. And that fresh cut grass. And as you're walking across the dew that's on the grass, that's getting on your shoes and stuff, you know, it just gets your juices flowing. It just makes you think about football and that passion. You know, God, I wish I were young again and still playing football. There's nothing like football. So this offseason has been crazy. It has been crazy from the time the season ended and we saw Jason Garrett as a dead man walking. Still coming to work while Jerry Jones was interviewing Mike McCarthy. And since that time, it seems like the whole world has gone crazy. Everything seems to be upside down. Jerry Jones has been missing in action. Training camp was open, and here he is on his yacht in Seattle. Went to Alaska. Jerry Jones, last basically 5 months or so, hasn't had anything to say. No press conferences. We saw him going into the Star. We had him in an opening conference of being happy about being back. Don Shula passes away. We hear condolences. But since that time, there's been nothing from Jerry Jones. We've had players, Gerald McCoy, Don Terry Poe, call out the owner and say, hey, where are you with social justice? I want you to stand with us. And still nothing. Well, today, friends, as the Dallas Cowboys are now knee-deep in training camp, okay, come Friday, this Friday, they will actually put the pads on and actually start hitting. The first few weeks of training camp, of course, were testing every single day, testing, social distancing, and getting used to this new norm of, you know, having shields up in between lockers and lockers spaced out, you know, players wearing masks, testing every day, that swab up your nose, and getting used to this new set and figuring out what's what and who's who. Well, today will be the Dallas Cowboys opening press conference. A new era. You know, this was 2019 here. Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones, Jason Garrett. Jason Garrett had a press conference yesterday with the New York stinking Giants. I wish him well with the Giants. But there's a new era here. And from what we've seen thus far, it's been the Mike McCarthy show. Well, today, 11 o'clock Central, 12 o'clock Eastern, will be the Cowboys opening press conference. And Jerry Jones will be back for that. And I got to tell you, Jerry Jones, you know.
I think that's a part of leadership is to have some of the guys that have gone before that have been disappointed to share it with everybody involved. For me, it's a reminder. I, too, have been here 23 years. And it is a reminder. I've been here when it was glory hole days, and I've been here when it wasn't. And so having said that, I want me some glory hole. So I have that perspective.
So Jerry Jones will be back, and he'll be part of the opening ceremonies press conference. I will be watching 12 o'clock Eastern, definitely give you my notes and everything else on it. I can't wait to hear how this goes. I can't wait to hear what Jerry Jones has to say after everything that's transpired over the course of the end of last season. This season has been crazy, as we all know. It's been in doubt. The fact that We didn't have OTAs and off-season workouts. That we've had virtual reality team meetings. That the team has just gotten together. Our draft picks with their teammates just 2 weeks ago, and that 32 days from now they'll have the first game without a preseason game. This you could never even dream up of an off-season like this. So it'll be interesting to see what they have to say with this press conference. But make no mistake about it, to me, thus far, what we've seen, this has been a different team 100%. To me, Mike McCarthy is truly the front and center guy of this team. I've said before with Jason Garrett, like, love Jason Garrett. Jason Garrett, nice guy and everything. But nice guy doesn't mean that you are able to do the job. And I'm not trying to bash Jason Garrett. But see, where you see most guys that are head coaches, they've put in a lot of work. You know, if you watched Hard Knocks last night, Anthony Lynn. Anthony Lynn was here in Dallas with Bill Parcells. Anthony Lynn, before he ever became a head coach, had to work his way up through the ranks. He had to be, different position coaches, go to different teams, get different perspectives. Basically was in training, job training, working his way up the ladder. That's why sometimes you see soldiers who started out at the bottom end up becoming great leaders because they understand everything that's out there. And you get that guy fresh out of college in ROTC, gets on the battlefield, gets shot immediately because he doesn't know shit, because he hasn't paid the dues. And Jason Garrett, quarterback coach in Miami 1 year, then offensive coordinator a year, and then head coach. You didn't necessarily have all of the skills and position work behind it to become the head coach, especially of a pressure cooker like the Dallas Cowboys. And I think that was part of the reason why we always saw, people would say Jerry Jones is meddling too much. The Cowboys organization is doing, but I'm not sure that Jason Garrett was ready to do all of these things from the lack of experience. I think actually going to New York and now being offensive coordinator, where he can focus in on being that, will ultimately make him a better head coach, because he will be a head coach again. There's no doubt about it in my mind. It may be with the New York Giants. If Joe Judge, who doesn't have experience, flounders, it may be Jason Garrett gets moved up. Mike McCarthy is like Anthony Lynn. Before he became the head coach of the Packers, he was offensive coordinator with the 49ers. He had worked with the Joe Montana and things. He had paid his dues in coaching different positions on the field. He had experiences and he had perspectives of ways to do things. So before he became the guy, he understood evaluating talent, although you could say he kind of messed up between thinking Alex Smith was better than Aaron Rodgers. But be that as it may, he still had all of these experiences. And having all that experiences, he doesn't need the crutch of Jerry and Steven doing that stuff. Listen, I got the work on the field. And I also feel like there's a sense of urgency with Jerry Jones, because what you've been doing over the course of the last 25 years of, getting rid of Jimmy Johnson, and basically saying any number of 500 coaches with the team he put together could win the Super Bowl. Well, I guess we got 500. We had 501, 502, 503, 504, 505 since that time, because we ain't got a coach that's gotten us there to the Super Bowl. Sorry, forgive me. Sinuses are a little heavy. I think Jerry is realizing it ain't working. And it's time to get football people doing football things. And that's why you got a Will McClay there. That's why you got a Mike McCarthy, and a Mike McCarthy who had autonomy to pick his staff. Jason Garrett didn't pick his staff. Jerry Jones and crew elevated people who were part of the Dallas Cowboys organization or had ties with the Dallas Cowboys organization. It was nepotism. This is totally different. So it will be interesting to see how much of a lead Jerry Jones, who has not been there thus far at training camp, takes with the Dallas Cowboys. We'll definitely be talking about that. Like I said, we'll do a live stream, start say maybe 11:45 or so, getting ready for it, and definitely listen in to what they have to say. I don't know if last night you watched Hard Knocks, which was the LA Rams and the LA Chargers, and it gave you a taste of what they're doing to try and make sure that they have a season. And make no mistake about it, the NFL understands if we can have a season, it will be golden. It will be most watched ever football in history. And they can cut checks to make sure that the players stay safe, to make sure they get the testing done every single day, until they don't need it every day that they can do it. That they can go through, like the Rams did, basically set a tent up in the middle of the parking lot that's now a training facility, set up a second weight room, having all this testing, having players wear masks and stuff. They have the wherewithal to be able to do this. And this is one of the reasons why I think you can succeed more so with professionals than you can with college. College being on a campus, some schools could have that money to be able to do that. Other schools don't. And it only takes one school that you're playing to mess it up for all of them. And when you think about college students on campus with other college students, let's be clear. Everybody's hanging out with everybody. It's literally a germ fest. And it'd be real easy for coronavirus to go through the team. You're talking about young men that are popular on a college campus with 30, 40, 50,000 other students. Generally speaking, you got NFL players that are professional, that understand what it takes to get here and are a little more stable because some of them are married, some of them have kids and things like that, and they understand the logistics and what they must do, not only for themselves, but for their teammates. And that's where I think the difference lies between the NFL and college football. But thus far, I'm actually very hopeful on having the season because of what the NFL's done. Seeing what I saw last night, Aaron Donald not liking a needle. Some of those guys getting squeamish about a swab here up the nose and stuff. But seeing what the NFL is doing and the lengths that they're going through to try and get this done, to me, makes me feel a lot more hopeful. It won't be easy. It won't be football as we normally know it, but it will be something on Sundays and maybe Saturdays too. So I guess I'll see you guys here, 11:45 today. One other note, I don't know if you've noticed or not, but I have actually a new microphone, and hopefully the sound quality is a little bit better than what you've had before. So I hope you guys enjoy it. We're going to be doing a few more upgrades, but I will talk to you guys later.